It's just disgusting. I don't even understand it.
She's the middle-aged mum with a taste for teenage boys.
Hello, Jay. Chris Allen from A Current Affair. Just wondering if we can ask you some questions about your relationship with young Jushan here.
Okay.
Hiding under that beard is 16-year-old Jushan. He met 37-year-old Julia Davenport, or Jay as she calls herself, when he was a 15-year-old schoolboy.
I don't even understand it. I don't even understand how someone can do it, think it's acceptable and get away with it. It just baffles me every day.
Joanne is Jushan's heartbroken mum.
I can't understand it because we always had a really good relationship, and now she's turned him against me and anyone else in the family that opposes their relationship.
His mum would like to know why he's not at school or at home with his family. Can you tell us why that is?
Because he chose to move out.
The whole thing is just like, yuck, you don't even want to know.
According to his mum, Jushan met Jay because he was a friend of Jay's teenage daughter. But Jushan's mum only became suspicious when she saw Jay picking up her 15-year-old son from high school. Then she found the messages in his mobile phone.
I just couldn't believe it. I felt sick. Like, even now looking at it, I just feel sick and just can't believe that someone would send that to a 15-year-old child.
Saved in Jushan's phone, messages from Jay's phone, most of which we can't show you on TV because they're too explicit.
But clearly his mum says you took up a relationship with him when he was still 15.
No, incorrect.
I've seen the pornographic messages you sent him on the phone.
And clearly from the messages you can see that they know it's unacceptable, because through the trail of it, it says don't tell anyone, I'll be in trouble and all that sort of stuff. So that's what made me think, oh, is this from her?
What mum, middle-aged mother, sends a teenage boy pornographic messages?
I didn't, so...
Well, do you think she's a predator?
Yeah, I do. Definitely.
And Drew should know because, believe it or not, Drew was Jay's 18-year-old husband at the time Jushan ran away from home to live with Jay.
I was still there. I was made to sleep on the couch, like a guest.
So you, her husband, was sleeping on the couch while he was upstairs in your bed?
Yes.
How did you feel about that?
Well, pissed off.
If Drew was unhappy about it, his mum Laura was appalled.
He was virtually pushed aside for a younger man.
He was.
At the age of 18.
He was.
Drew says he moved in with Jay when he was 17 and got married a year later.
As a mum, did you think it was inappropriate, if you like, for a 17-year-old to be taking up with someone twice his age?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Did you talk to her and say, you're the adult in this relationship?
Yes, I did. They believed at that point that they were meant to be.
But it wasn't meant to be. 3 months after the happy day, Jushan moved in and Drew was dumped.
Drew, how would you describe her, just to sum it up?
Controlling and manipulative.
You're the adult here, Jay, you're the adult here. Are you doing the right thing?
Definitely.
In terms of Jushan, how can you see this ending?
Badly. Badly. My son ended up destroyed, and it took him months and months to get over it. It's not going to end well.
You can see it happening to someone else.
Oh, gosh, yes.
Your mum's worried about you, Jushan.
Look, you don't know anything about her. Seriously?
She's worried about you. We know she's worried about you.
Darling, listen to me.
It's been several months since Joanne has seen her son and she can't believe the way he looks.
He's totally unrecognisable.
He certainly doesn't look like a 16-year-old.
No. Compared to what he looked like 12 months ago, he's totally unrecognisable. He's not the same person at all.
Jay and her toy boy now say they're engaged. They've set up home at the house Jay shares with her 2 young sons and 18-year-old daughter Sky.
As a mother, I find it hard to understand that someone could take up with someone half their age when they have children around the same age. I don't understand it. I don't understand how she could do that, but she does.
Does the morality of all this appall you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know what she's thinking. I don't know. I feel sorry for her younger children who are going to have to deal with the repercussions of this.
In public, Jay and Jushon are openly affectionate. At the local supermarket, they steal a kiss while waiting to be served. And at a hotel on what Jay calls date night, the couple steal a kiss before he plays pool with children his own age and she smokes outside.
He's not going to school. You look at how he looks. He's got a tattoo here. He stands around in public smoking everywhere, which he did none of that when he lived at home. His life is just on a downhill spiral.
So clearly, yes, you're concerned about his well-being, let alone his moral well-being.
Oh, yes. Most definitely. It's heartbreaking to see that your child, that has so much potential, and this is what they're doing.
Would you like to say hello to your mother? She's worried about you. Your mum's worried about you, Jushon. Would you like to say hello to her? It must be terrible for you. You must miss him awfully.
Yeah, we all miss him a lot.
This behaviour is definitely predatory behaviour. I understand that she might have some issues herself. Whether she's got issues or not, the behaviour is predatory.
Hetty Johnson is from Bravehearts, Australia's leading child protection agency.
Well, she's a little bit like, every mother's nightmare, really. I mean, because these are very young and impressionable boys, particularly young boys. I mean, their hormones are racing, and then along comes a woman who's going to teach them, if you like, look after them, give them everything they want, love them, all of those things perpetrators do to children. And there's nothing in the law that can protect these young people from being exploited in that way. Of course, they believe this is real. They don't see it for what it is until it's too late.
Now remember, Jushon's mum said her son moved in with Jay 2 months before he turned 16. So during that time, and armed with the explicit text messages she'd found on his phone, she went to the police, who investigated.
I've done everything as a mother, everything that I can to help him. That's why I've contacted you guys, because I've got to do everything.
Although police investigated, ultimately they didn't follow it any further.
The police went around there and they did take him out and question him, but he denied it. So they just let him walk out the door.
And even though Jushon is now 16, Hetty Johnson says it should be illegal to have sex with anyone 10 years older than you are until a person is 18.
This is now on the table. Hopefully somebody will look at it, the powers that be, and, really make a concerted effort to fix it.
Would you like to say hello to your mum? She's worried about you. She's worried you're not at school.
I know and I trust that he will come around and see the light, because he is only young, so his brain will change and mature and he will come right.
We can only hope.
Yeah, he's brought up properly, he will come right in the end.